Hello everyone. Today I would like to read out the fourth chapter titled The Profiles from my manuscript, The King's Daughter and Him. This story is a work of fiction. All characters, events, and places are imaginary or symbolic. Any resemblance to real person, living or dead, is purely coincidental. This content is intended for storytelling, entertainment, and entertainment purposes only. I'd like to read out the story. After the long walk, we finally reached his home. I was eager to see the king's daughter profile, but he seemed far more interested in showing me Nisha's. I did not want to take away his happiness, so I sat down and looked at her profile carefully. Pretty girl, I said. Didn't I tell you? He replied. She's pretty, but this photograph is taken by a professional. How can you be so certain? I asked. He began analyzing the camera angles and I joined him. For a moment, I felt sorry for Nisha, reduced to small details examined and discussed by the two of us. I continued reading her profile, age, profession, everything looks fine, even your hobbies match. She's interested in dramatics, painting, and music. This seems like a good match, probably the best among the profiles you've received so far from ordinary people. Then I added, almost unable to hold back, I'm still keen on seeing the king's daughter's profile. He leaned back. Right now, I'm lost in Nisha's world. I don't want to step into the king's daughter's world again. Tell me, do you think Nisha will like me? That's a difficult question, I said. Liking someone is different for everyone. My perspective may not be hers. You'll have to meet her to know that. But yes, her profile looks good. She seems ambitious. How do you know that? He asked. Sometimes a photograph or a profile speaks for itself, I said, though I could be wrong. I paused for a moment, then added, perhaps more bluntly than I should have. But I must say one thing, you're being heartless. How could you forget the king's daughter so easily? Even if your social status is different, if you were so emotionally attached, how could you move on so quickly? I looked at him and continued, in fact, I feel the king's daughter is better than you. She seems deeply attached to you. She has come all the way to meet you. He went silent. Then I saw his expression change. You know nothing about it, he said, his voice firm. You don't even remember me telling about her, and yet you blame me so easily. Do you know how long it took me to forget her? I'm only 23 and I want to move on. These 2 years, the emotional turmoil I went through, it wasn't easy. I have taken time to forget her. Please don't bring her back into my life. I fell quiet. His face had turned pale, and I realized I had misjudged him. I had noticed changes in him over the past 2 years, but I had always assumed it was work pressure. He had been away on an assignment for a while, and when he returned, something about him had changed. He had been trying to settle back into life. But there was always a lingering tension, something unspoken, until we began this search for his marriage. I knew this was not the right moment to ask more about the king's daughter, so I gently shifted the conversation back to Nisha's profile. We continued discussing it, going over the details once again. I noticed her contact information and asked him if he had reached out to her. I already have, he said, the moment I saw her profile. His laptop, along with several printed profiles, lay scattered on the table. I knew the king's daughter's profile must be there too. I wanted to see it, but I didn't want to upset him again. Now at least I understood why she preferred to be called the king's daughter. So I casually asked, are we meeting for lunch tomorrow? Do you think you deserve a treat after everything I have just learned? He smiled faintly. It's not necessary. In fact, I am planning to delete her profile. This will be the end of the story between the king's daughter and me. It will remain a secret since you don't remember anything. The curious part of me still wanted to know more about that world, the royal connection, the story behind it. So I said, we'll meet tomorrow for lunch. It was time for me to head back home. That's all for the day. Do let me know your thoughts about this chapter by writing in the comments section. Thanks for watching and thanks for your time.